In this video, we are going to learn about symmetry. Symmetry means that an object could be cut in half and it would be the exact same on one side as it is on the other. So with this rectangle, if I was to cut the rectangle right in half, this side could be folded over and would match up with this side. They're the exact same. So imagine folding a piece of paper like that. They would be the exact same on both sides. I could also cut it this way or fold it that way, and if I folded the top half down on the bottom half, they would match and line up perfectly, meaning they are symmetrical. So a rectangle has two lines of symmetry, one going this way and one going this way. Some quadrilaterals have two lines of symmetry. So in this rectangle here, we can see that we could cut it this way, and one side is the exact same as the second side, or we could cut it this way, and we see that this side is the same as the second side there. With the other shape, the diamond looking shape, it also has two lines of symmetry. If I cut it right down the middle there and fold it over, side 1 would be the exact same as side 2. It would fold over nicely onto each other. And if I cut it this way, I could fold the bottom half up to the top half, and side 1 and side 2 would be the exact same. So that means they're symmetrical. Some quadrilaterals have one line of symmetry, just one line. So on this shape here, this kite, if I cut it down the middle there, side 1 would fold over onto side 2 perfectly, so it's symmetrical. But if I tried to cut it, say, this way, is side 1 the same as side 2? No, it's not. It wouldn't line up properly. So it's not symmetrical that way. That's why it only has one line of symmetry. Same with this kite here. Cutting it down the middle, this side is the same as that side. But I couldn't cut it this way, for example, because if I tried to fold it over, would it line up very nicely? No, it wouldn't. And this trapezoid has one line of symmetry right there. If I tried to cut it this way, it wouldn't line up very nicely. This side, side 1, would not fold over onto side 2 very nicely. So when you think of symmetry, think about folding something, a shape maybe, in half, and if it lines up perfectly, then it's symmetrical. But if it doesn't line up, then that's not a line of symmetry. The square is a very special quadrilateral because it has four lines of symmetry. So looking at this square on the right, I could cut it this way and it would fold over on itself very nicely. I could also cut it this way in half and fold this side up, and it would match nicely. So that's a second line of symmetry. But it also has a diagonal line of symmetry. If I fold this bottom half up to here and match the corners up, this corner and this corner, it would match. So it's a line of symmetry as well. And finally, you could also fold it the other way. So the square has four lines of symmetry. 1, 2, 3, 4. Four lines of symmetry. Sometimes you'll come across shapes with no lines of symmetry. That means that there's no way to fold these shapes so that they match both sides. So on the first one on the left, I couldn't cut it this way and have it fold over. That wouldn't work. And I couldn't cut it like that and fold it over. And on the middle shape, if I folded it here, it wouldn't match up. We see that this side is different than that side. And on the far right one, that parallelogram, that almost seems like it might work, but you have to think, if I folded it, would that corner match with that corner? Probably not. I think this corner would fold over and it would end up more like there. So it doesn't quite work. So those shapes have no lines of symmetry. Not everything will have a line of symmetry. A really neat thing about symmetry is that you can find symmetry in nature. You can find it in nature. Here are some pictures of symmetry in nature. Sometimes a moth or a butterfly or things like that will be symmetrical. So if I was to fold this right in half, which I wouldn't do because it's so beautiful, but you can see that this half is the same as this half. It's very symmetrical. It's a very cool thing about nature. Sometimes you find lots of symmetry in nature. You know what else is symmetrical? The symbol for my favorite superhero. I'm Batman. Other symmetrical shapes in nature include this beautiful snowflake, this wonderful butterfly, and this flower. So there you have it. We can cut these shapes maybe in half and one side is the exact same as the other side, meaning that they're symmetrical. And the flower you could even cut this way, so it has a couple lines of symmetry, maybe even more than that. The snowflake too you could cut probably this way and it would also be symmetrical. So there you have it. Symmetry in nature, symmetry in math, symmetry everywhere. Symmetry, symmetry, symmetry.